concerning Winn's feelings for Kara, you know.
What feelings?
It's very hard to walk that line where you want to see Winn, you know, get with the girl, but you also have to make sure that you don't play it creepy. Like he's not creepy or pushy about it.
He's such a troll.
Right. So
No.
How do you walk that line?
Well, I think it's just genuine. I mean, I think that Kara is smart enough and sort of observant enough to not become best friends with the creepy dude, you know. And also Winn, I think, is very respectful and kind of he gives his distance he's too scared to say anything because I don't think that he has a lot of friends, if many at all, outside of the office. And he's not about to screw up the one good, consistent thing that he has in his life, which is her. And, you know, maybe that's part of the reason why he's so in love with her, you know. And maybe it's, you know, it's a sort of love by proximity kind of a thing, you know. He's not really seen anything from the outside world, and he's kind of been stuck in this world. And I think that can kind of push you in a different direction. But yeah, I never sort of worried about crossing that weird, creepy line. I try to soften my face a little bit so I don't get like that weird like. But no, I think that he's. I think it's real, true, genuine feelings, but I also think at the same time he doesn't really think he has a shot. So he's never really tried to do anything. I mean, the most that he's ever gone for is that kiss on the cheek, and you know, even for him, I think it was a cop-out. So and you know, he decided to do it while, you know, James and Lucy are coming around the corner. So timing is just a bitch.
So I just noticed your hat, and I've been looking at it.
Oh yeah, this is my Justice League hat. I found it at Lids in the back of like an aisle, like 5 years ago.
So are you a big comic book person?
I'm a medium-sized comic book person. So I mean, I know all the main characters and all the main stories, and I read a lot of comic books as a kid. I've kind of waned off a bit as an adult, but I still follow a little bit. But yeah, I totally love superheroes and the whole genre and the mythology. So I mean, people always, before I got this job, and still now, people ask me like, "What's your, you know, dream role?" And they're always like fishing for some role that, you know, you could recreate. But for me, I always tell people, sort of jokingly but not, that I just want to be a superhero, and I still do. So
which superhero?
I don't care. Like I want to like kick some alien ass, you know, and save the day. I just think it would be so much fun and sort of a childhood dream fulfillment sort of thing. And, you know, Winn's kind of towards there, but I think he's got a little bit of development to go before, if he is going to go that route.
So we just found out that Martian Manhunter is not going to be you, sadly.
Oh, shoot!
As a fan of the Justice League and the comics and your own show, do you think this is going to bring about, or how do you feel about all this?
You guys, what do you know?
know.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. They're embargoed. They're embargoed. Yeah.
Okay. Shout it from the rooftops. For Winn, I don't think he knows. I don't think. Well, it's definitely a secret, and I think maybe a couple people are going to find out about that secret. But it's a big deal, and I don't think it's something that's sort of taken lightly. I don't even know if other people in DEO know about it. I mean, nobody knows about it now. Clearly, they're going to find out, but not a lot of people. And even down the line, when Winn finally does meet Hank, it's not any sort of like, this guy's an alien Martian Manhunter kind of person. So as of now, it has no real effect on me. As we found out last week, he knows there's something going on with Hank, but as far as Winn knows, they resolved it, and it was all a mishap.
So we've teased, there's been some hints dropped about your father, Winn's
yes.
father.
Yes.
And for the comics, we kind of know that
Yes. Well, I think it's also was released in the statement that
Yes.
of who my father was, yes? Yes, it was released that my father, played by Henry
Cerny.
Is it Cerny? I think it's Cherney. Gosh, don't quote me on this. I was not good with names. He's great though. I love him. But he's playing Winslow Schott Sr., who is the infamous Toyman.
Right.
And as we know from previous episodes, he's been in jail for a long time for doing bad things, which, you know, if you're any comic book knowledge, you can kind of assume what some of those things might have been. And yeah, in episode 10, we'll get to meet him. And some things are going to go down. We're going to see a different side of Winn, which I'm very excited about. You know, we've for the most part just seen this kind of quirky, young, of course, well, not young, but this is sort of this quirky, excitable, in love kind of character, you know, kind of sad puppy dog, but also really smart kind of, you know, hacker dude. But it's been kind of light, and he's had all like kind of the fun, quippy lines. But I was really excited when I read this script for episode 10 because I get to sort of delve a lot deeper, and it was a really challenging episode for me, and hopefully really, well, it was rewarding doing it, and I haven't seen it yet or anything, but I'm really excited.
So does that mean you might venture into the dark side?
I wouldn't say that, but I think as we know Winn now and how he is, it's going to take a lot for him to kind of go there. I mean, he's at this point, as far as we know, as far as I know about him, there's not really that darkness in him. At least not that we've seen. Maybe it's deep below the surface. I don't know. It's clearly in his blood, but I don't know. I don't want to say that, you know, Winn's going to, you know, suddenly become this giant supervillain. I think that would just make no sense whatsoever. So, you know, I can't rule it out because I don't really know what their, you know, big plans are for the whole series.
Will we see some of Winn interacting with Maxwell Lord because he's your hero?
Yes, but not for a while.
Going back to Winn's father, what is that dynamic going to look like when they actually come face to face? Because we kind of know how Winn feels about him.
Yeah, I mean, it's not good. I mean, it's abandonment. You know, it sort of parallels Kara's relationship a little bit in that you know, she feels abandoned even though they had to do what they had to do, but for Winn, it was abandonment without reason and without understanding, and we'll learn a little bit more about why and what that was, but no, he's definitely holding on to some pretty deep, dark emotions when it comes to confronting his dad that are brought to the surface very quickly, and I think the exciting thing for me is you start to see what's sort of behind the fun quippiness and why Winn is like that, because nobody's just that kind of like lighthearted all the time. I mean, it's compensating for something, I think. So I would just say, you know, we really get to find this sort of maybe kind of have an idea of why he's kind of using that sort of, I don't want to say defense mechanism, you know, of like always being the happy-go-lucky kind of guy.
Guys,
So does-
last two questions.
So does Winn turn to Kara in the episode, or who does he turn to?
Well, it is called Supergirl.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say that Kara certainly gets involved, and I think it's also safe to say that over the course of this first half of the series, you know, we're going to see Winn's relationship with Kara evolve as well. I think as she becomes more confident with herself and who she is, I think it sort of trickles down to the people around her. And Winn, who's probably the least confident of the cast, sort of has a long way to grow. And so I think we'll start to see that growth. And although can't imagine things are going to get better before they get worse. So there might be some more downhill sliding for the friend zone, but you know, I think we'll get maybe some movement in that storyline for sure.
Last question.
So if we go back to Toyman, obviously when you signed on, you knew your character's name was
Sure.
synonymous with this
Sure.
character. Did you go in expecting he would eventually go down that road, or?
Kind of, yeah, but nothing in my audition or any of my discussions with the creatives indicated that. I just thought maybe because I have like the low brow and the sort of, I can do a mean brooding look. But that was never the character, at least not at the beginning. But I certainly had that in the back of my mind. But I mean, it's television, and we're kind of the last people to know about these things. So, you do all these crazy TV series, and then you find out in season 3 that you've had this secret backstory that you never heard about, but apparently you've been playing the whole time. But that's just, I just do what's on the page and kind of bring as much sort of truth and personality to it as I can, and the chips fall where they may.